Thank you for joining us again this afternoon for the second in our series, Meeting Extraordinary Women. Last week, we had a chance to visit with Eve, mother of all living. Today, we have a chance to speak with Mary, the mother of Jesus Christ. It's good to have you here, Mary.
Oh, it's good to be here.
Please. Let's start with your background. You grew up in Nazareth, correct?
Yes, that's right.
And what was that like?
Well, I grew up quite poor. As you know, Nazareth is a poorer section of Galilee, so we didn't have much growing up. But I was raised to know God and trust Him.
Now, how did you meet your husband, Joseph?
Well, in those days, it was quite common for parents to arrange a marriage.
I'm familiar with the two stages of that, first the engagement and then the marriage ceremony.
Well, that's right. We were betrothed. It's like an engagement, only much stronger. The only way to end it would be through divorce.
So during this engagement time, you continued to live with your parents, though?
Yes, I did live with my parents for a period of time before the formal wedding.
What was Joseph like?
Oh, Joseph was a good man. He was a hard worker. He was righteous. He took good care of me. But like any couple, we did have our struggles.
Now, after you became betrothed to Joseph, but before you began living with him, you had a visit from an angel, correct?
Yes, it was an amazing experience.
Was it Gabriel?
Yes, it was.
Were you frightened?
Yes, at first I was. I had never been visited by an angel before. God had never spoke to me. I was just a poor girl in Nazareth.
So, what happened?
Well, it was all very unusual. I was afraid at first, but then it was very soothing. Gabriel said to me, "Do not be afraid. You have found favor with God." Me? Favor with God?
Go on. What happened next?
Well, Gabriel told me I was going to be pregnant and have the Son of God. This was really unusual. I had never been with a man before, and I was unwed.
But as unusual as all of that was, you still accepted it.
Yes, it was an honor to me to have the Son of God, and so I surrendered myself to my fate.
Well, let's move on to Joseph. How did he react?
Well, you're a man. How would you learn if your wife, your virgin wife-to-be, told you she was pregnant?
So he was upset,
Yes, at first he was upset.
but he eventually accepted the pregnancy?
Yes, an angel came to him as well and explained it all to him.
So what did you do after you found out that you were going to have a baby, Jesus?
Oh, yes, I was so excited. I rushed with joy to see my cousin, Elizabeth. An angel had told me that she was pregnant as well. This was quite a miracle because she was rather old.
So what was Elizabeth's reaction to your news?
It was strange. She seemed to know.
What made you think that?
She called me blessed among women. The child inside of her leapt for joy. They both knew I was to have the Son of God.
So is that when you really understood all of the significance of everything?
Yes, I really did.
Now, the reaction that you had after that, pretty well known. We call it the Magnificat. Can you explain a little bit about what you were trying to say in that?
Sure. I love God so much, and He had been so good to me. I was going to have His Son. Yes, I would be called blessed over the years to come. But it was really God's great work through me, his humble servant. It was all just an amazing experience.
We're all quite familiar with the Christmas story, the story of Jesus' birth. But I think we'd like to know a little bit more about Jesus' mother as he was growing up.
Well, even as a young boy, he knew he was my son, but also the Son of God.
So what was that like for you as a mother? I mean, I'm sure being perfect and all, he was every mother's dream.
Yes, he was perfect. But I struggled as a parent, as his mother, while at the same time trying to accept the fact that he wanted to obey God's will for his life.
So we know that God definitely had a plan for Jesus' life. During this season of the church year, we focus on Jesus' death and resurrection. During Lent, that's what we're examining and talking about. Would it be all right if I asked you just a few questions about your son's death?
Yes, it would.
Were you there when he was crucified?
Yes, I was there with John and some other disciples.
There was a significant point during his crucifixion where he pointed out, he looked right at you and John, whom you mentioned, and there was something that he said. What was that like?
There were so many emotions going through my head and my heart at that moment. I looked at him on the cross in so much pain and so much agony. I just wanted to tear him down and take away his pain. I wanted it all to end. But at that same moment, I knelt at the foot of the cross and looked at the promised Messiah. And in that moment, my son became my Savior.